Hey, I'm Sudeep. I have built a workflow system that your team will be using going forward. In this video, I'll quickly walk you through what this software is, why it was built, and how to use it. At the core, this system helps you manage everything related to your company in one connected place. Before we go inside the workflow, we first need to understand the foundation of this software, on what basis we built this on. There is a hierarchy. At the top, we have ventures. A venture represents the main company of a client, partner, studio, vendor, or any kind of a business entity you work with. For example, in this image, we are managing a work for a company called Meridian Ventures. So at first, we create the company as a new record under ventures. All the work we do for this company will connect back to this venture record. So instead of repeating the same company details again and creating a scattered data, we create it once and link everything to it. Under a venture, we have projects. A project represents a specific work we are doing for that venture. A project cannot exist alone. It should always be connected to a venture. For example, in this image under Meridian Ventures, there are multiple projects like Riverfront Plaza, Maple Residence, and Skyline Squares. These are the projects they are being done for this particular venture. Each project will have its own details, deadlines, team members, tasks, and related records. So the venture tells us who the work belongs to, and the project tells us what work is being done. That way, instead of mixing up all the work under one company, we separate the work into clear projects and manage each project properly. Inside every project, we have tasks. A task represents a specific action that needs to be completed inside that project. For example, in this image, projects have tasks like site survey, design approval, foundation work, structural design, etc. If a task has smaller steps inside it, we create them as subtasks. For example, under the site survey, we can have subtasks like collect land data and visit and inspection. So the project tells us what work is being done, and the task shows us how that work will actually be completed and when. So that way, instead of keeping work vague, we break every project into clear tasks and smaller subtasks that the team can track and complete. After understanding task and subtask, we have linked records. These are the supporting details connected to the work like documents, assets, events, and transactions, etc. For example, a task or a project can have documents like agreements, reports, assets like land, equipment, events like meetings, site visits, transactions, any kind of documents that are very much necessary and needs to be connected to a particular project or a venture or a task or a subtask. These records do not stay separate. They are either linked to venture, project, or a task or a subtask. So whenever we open a project or a task, we can see all the related information, all documents, assets, events, or any kind of transaction that happened under them will be listed around there. That way, nothing is isolated and every important detail stays connected to the workflow. Now that we understand the basic structure, ventures, people, projects, tasks, and linked records, let's see how the software actually works. First, we start from the login page. Here, each user will be given their own login credentials. Only users with the right password can enter the system and access the data they are allowed to see. Once we log in, we come to the main workflow dashboard. I know it seems bit overwhelming at first. It's extremely simple. The same thing that we just understood at the hierarchy. Here we can see the total count of records under each section. Under venture, people, projects, tasks, documents, assets, events, transaction, etc. This count will give us an idea of how things are working. If you scroll down a bit, we can also see upcoming events, tasks, projects along with the deadlines. Upcoming events more like meetings that are coming up in 3 days, 17 July. Today it shows the today's date, 14 July. And there is an event, 17 July in just 3 days. Or there is another event, 18 July in 4 days. It will also show the task owner. It's here, it's unassigned, but you can assign any person. The person that you have assigned to will be shown here. If you scroll down a bit, events will be always on the top because they need more attention from the user. If you scroll down a bit, we can see upcoming task, the task that needs to be done. This task should have been done 150 days ago. Upcoming task will show the tasks that are either coming up or already a bit late that the user has somehow ignored. So if you really look at that, it shows 10th February. That means it's nearly 150 days late. 10th March, 120 days late. If you add a task that will be coming up in the next 5 days, it will show up and say that 5 days will be left. If you scroll down a bit, it will show projects that are going to come up. This project should have been done yesterday, so 1 day late. If there is a project that comes up in 5 days later, it shows that project that there is 5 days left to complete it. But the question is, how does all the data appear here? It appears only when we start adding data into the system. So now let's begin by adding the first set of data into the workflow and understand how it works. Now, let's add the data. You must create a venture. Nothing can be created without a venture. Let's create a new venture. Let's think we have a client that we have got named RK Groups. Start date. That means when this venture date that we like to start, it's almost like becomes a create date. Let's say today only. Today, month, we choose July. We can choose the next year or year before that, and 14th. Type. This will show what type of venture this company is. We can say auditor, bank, client, or self. What is self means? Self is a companies or an organization that are related to our company. Let's take this as a guy is a client. Status. This will show is that venture is active, closed, or dormant. You might be thinking we are just creating a new venture. Why do we need to create a status? Because we already know is an active person. This will be useful when you are editing the venture after some time. Let's take 3 months later, this venture didn't reply to you, so you are gonna make this status closed. At this point, it's active. Verticals is more like tags that you want to add. Let's say you want to add this company belongs to bookkeeping or graphic design. Entity form. Is it a foreign company, individual, LLP, partnership? Let's take LLP. Registration number. If the company has given the registration number, you will put the registration number. Primary contact. This is where you need to understand. Every venture will have a primary contact. That means if something happens or something needs to be done in this venture, and you call that guy, that primary venture. Here it's already showing the people that we have already created before. But if the venture is extremely new and there are no people under our workflow software that has created that we can relate or connect attached to this venture, we can create the new venture by clicking this plus button. What's the venture name? The new guy, a new add person, Kishore Mehta. His email ID, we can say it as kishore@gmail.com. Phone number, it's up to you to put what you want. Now here it shows what the role of the person is. Is an employee, a CFO, a founder, investor. Let's take is an employee. Role title, it will show, even though you might be thinking that we already chose the type Y extra employee, we can add more specific. It's like he takes care of finance related. Status, is it active or not? As I said, at this point, it's, even though if we are creating now, obviously it's going to be active, but in the future, if you want to change it, we can change it to inactive. This is access level. How much access you want to give to this particular person in under this venture. So we can give an access of contractor, client, contractor, employee, founder, partner. All of them will have an access to this venture to see what's happening, all the projects, tasks, documents, events, everything that are connected to this venture. But you need to understand they are not allowed to edit anything. The only thing that they can edit is add documents or notes by saying sending an information, and there will be option for you to reply it. I'll show you that in the future. Tax, you can add any tax. Finance and land acquisition. Create the venture. We just created the venture. Where did it go? We have to see, we have all the records under each section will be listed in its own dedicated page. If you go inside the ventures, you can see all the ventures that are created before. The venture that we just created is right here. If you want to get more descriptive information about this venture, you click on it and you can check it. This is a descriptive page for every record in the workflow. You can see its name, client, verticals, register number, everything. Here is a linked record. What is linked record means? The entire objective of building this workflow is to get this linked record. What are the things or entities or nodes that are connected to this particular node? In this, it's showing this person, Kishore Mehta, is being connected. If you click on the tree view, this is the entire objective of tree view is to visualize things. Here it shows there is one people that are connected. You might be asking why there are no projects, no tasks, no subtasks, any of that, because we have not created them yet. This is about creating a venture. This is it. This is about creating a venture. Now we're going to create people. We can create people by going to the people's dedicated page, or you can create it directly from the dashboard. Easy access. Click on the plus button. You can see a form appearing. You want to create a person. What's person name? Let's take Mahesh. His name is his email ID. Mahesh@gmail.com. Phone number, subjective, you want to give whatever you want. Venture. This is extremely important. Which venture this person should belongs to. If we just created RK groups, there are other ventures that I have created during testing, but let's take, we want to connect this guy to RK groups. Type, what this guy type is. We already go through this, the more of like the role that he plays. He's a consultant, finance consultant. Status, active. Access level, as I just explained, these guys that we create will not have full access. The only thing that they can see is visualize data and add nodes. Create the person. We just created the new person. Where did it go? It's in the people's dedicated page under the RK groups. What is this RK groups? A venture that we just created. Under this venture, there are two people. As you can see, the new guy that we just created is Mahesh. You can see Mahesh, his phone number, venture that he is connected to, role title, employee, everything. If you go inside this Mahesh and click on the tree wave, it will show Mahesh is connected to RK groups. This is about visualization, means getting a tree look, a bird wave about which nodes are connected to which another venture or a project or a task. You can see Mahesh is connected to RK groups. You might be thinking that, is RK groups also showing the Mahesh? Let's check it out. If you go to RK groups and click on tree wave, Mahesh has been attached to this particular venture. Now, we just created a venture and we created people that belongs to that particular venture. What's the next thing? A project. We got the client, we created their company data. The next thing is creating project. What is project? Any work that we do for that particular company. Let's create a new project. Finding apartments for their employees. Apartments. Finding apartments is a project name. Venture. This is extremely important. This is where we connect the venture to the particular project. If you choose the wrong venture here, the entire calculation will be completely ruined, and the nodes that it gets connected will be completely different, and you get extremely wrong data. You can edit this at the end of the day, but you gotta be very careful when you're creating a new form. Vertical, there is an option for you to choose. Vertical is more like tags to get more information, to give more information about what you're creating. Let's say payrolls or tax compliance, any of that. Type, we already did this. Which type it belongs to. Let's take payroll related for their employees. They are finding apartments for their employees, and your company has got that work, so you are creating a new project for it. Asset is almost like finding, almost having a data information. We don't have any assets at this point, so we cannot select it. These are the test assets that I created before that doesn't belong to this venture, so we keep them empty. Stage, where we are we at the advisory, close, discovery, review, setup, any of that? Where are we? We're almost at the monthly execution because we're finding certain amount of apartments for their employees. Status, active. Start date, when are we starting? Today, 14th. But what is the target date? Next, on September 1st, same year. This is start date, this is target date. This is extremely important. This is where you choose the lead. Just the way we choose the primary contact under venture, we choose the lead under that particular project. Let's make Mahesh a lead for this particular project. Is it client shareable? I'll explain this later. It's almost like if this project can be shared with the client, so the client can view it. He cannot edit it, he can only view it. Health, keep it green. Create the project. We just created the project. Where did it go? It's right here. It shows the created date and the target date. If you click on it, you can see the start date. We are going to start it today, and the target date is September 1st. We can see which project it is. So we just connected this to RK Groups Ventures. If you click on the tree wave, it will show which venture this project is connected to. The entire idea of creating this workflow is to get this link data. It's connected to RK Groups. Okay, we just created a project. Now, project means it's a big work. It's like finding an apartment. You don't go and tell your employee that, yeah, we're going to find an apartment. There will be subtasks. What are subtasks? We're going to create subtasks now. Now, we just added a project, but the project that we created is finding apartments for RK Groups. Every project will have task and subtask under it. Let's create one task. What is the task? Connecting with local contractors. Venture, it belongs to RK groups. Project, finding apartments. Parent task. Parent task will be shown the tasks that are comes under that particular venture, because we are creating the first task right now, so there are no parent tasks at this point. What is the status? Status at this point is in progress, because we just started. Priority, critical, high. It depends on what task needs to be done as soon as possible, or we can do it quite late, or it's not that important and stuff like that. Let's say it's quite important because it's the main work. Owner. Owner is the guy who is going to be the main lead, a guy who is responsible for this task to be done. Let's take, we give this to Kishore Mehta this time. Assignees. You need to understand there is a difference. Owner is the guy who takes care of, more like a leader. Assignees are the people who gets the job done. So it could be Kishore Mehta and Mahesh together are going to complete this task. Depends on task will show the other task come under this venture. So that means imagine there is a task where before this contacting with our local contractors, some registration needs to happen. So that task has to happen before this one. So that's why we show depends on the task. It's showing none because we are just creating the first task. Due date, before which date this has to be completed, this task. Let's take today is 14 July. We have to do it by September 5. Estimated timeline. Here you need to understand there's a difference. Here estimated timeline means for this task to be completed, let's take we need 5 days. Here you need to understand there is task that could take hours and that could take days. This takes at least like 60 days. Time logged. Time logged is every time that you come up here to edit it. Let's take you have so far you have spent like only 5 hours. When you spend like 2 days, 3 days, you come up here logging. Why you are logging it? Because the guy or the person who is supposed to take a look at how the venture and the task and the projects are going on, he can look at, okay, this company is already put 2 days of work in it. External shared with. This is almost like this task needs to be shared with someone else, like almost like a contractor view that I explained earlier. Or at this point, you need to ignore this because we are gonna give this external shared with is the next security level in the next update, in the next version of software. Let's take we share with Kishore Mehta. We just created the task and it's right here. If you click on it, it will show all the information and all the linked records under it. If you click on the tree view right now, then you can get an idea that RK groups under finding apartments is a project under task that we just created and all the people that comes under it. This is the beauty of a tree view from a task or a project perspective, because we get to have that bird look, like a big look. Now we just created the task. What else are left? Documents. What is documents or notes in our workflow point of view? It's very simple. Imagine if you have something to add up. Let's take a document where some agreement, okay? Agreement, yeah. Agreement related to apartment. Okay. Date, we just leave it today. Venture, which venture it belongs to? Venture on the project and the task. If you can connect it with the task, or you can leave it, but connecting with the local contacts is the this agreement belongs to, so you connect the task too. We have not created the asset yet. Events, we have not created it. These are dummy data that I have added during the testing. Transaction, no, we have not created anything. Type, what is this? An agreement. Body, what do you want to say? An agreement happened. An agreement between, let's take company A and RK groups. File reference. This is what you need to understand when it comes to file reference. Means this is where you provide a link for certain agreements. Let's take you provide an agreement. Okay, let's take just an example from online. Okay, this is the agreement, right? I'm getting the link from it. just to show you, because your agreements will be on probably on the Google Docs, probably on some other database that you store your data on. It has to be online. You give its link. Version 1, if you do any kind of updates, you give the next version. Status, draft, filed, final, signed, supersede. At this point, let's take it signed. Permission, who can view this and all that. Let's take contractor visible. Tags, you can add it like agreements, apartment. Tags are mainly for your understanding basically, so it's not like anything that is extremely necessary. You can leave that out too. We just created a document. If you click on it, you can take a look. The file reference that we just gave is right here, so that if you click on it, it will take you there. The whole point is that if you put any kind of a link or anything, if any of the document is stored somewhere, you can just give that link right here, so anyone can click this visit button and go there and view the agreement. That's the whole concept. Asset at this point works almost similar to same document level, so you can add asset, projects, same like that, format, dashboard, any of that, and storage, reference, owner, everything almost similar to documents. You might be asking why we have asset. If you click now, let's go to the events. This is extremely important. I want you to focus on this properly. Imagine there's a meeting between RK Group's CEO and your company's head. Okay, a meeting, let's take a video call, like a meeting about apartment. Okay, date is gonna be today's date. Venture, RK Groups, project, finding apartment, task. You can add task here, because I'm leaving this empty intentionally because this task belongs to finding local contractors. Here, this is just almost like a default meeting that they are doing to understand where the work is at. Type, let's take a simple monthly review. Start date tomorrow 15th, 10 a.m. sharp in the morning. It will end at around same 15th, 10th, let's take 11, 1 hour a.m. Done. Participants, see, the people that we have created will come up here in the participants, so we can get an idea of who are other people are gonna be part of it. Location, here you need to understand a meeting could happen in a coffee shop or a meeting could happen digitally. Let's take it happens on a Google Meet. Summary, if you want to add some, explain anything, what kind of meeting it is beforehand, so that guy who's going to attend this meeting will have something to understand what he's getting into, the more context. Let's take monthly meeting to understand where the task is. Calendar ref is something that you explain, and you can even give some link. It belongs, let's take a calendar reference that you have created on some other software, not here, some other software, so you can give the link here. Asset, we have not created yet, those are default ones, so we just created an event, so it came up right here, the first one. We just created this. Click on it, you can see all the things that are connected, projects, people, events, document, everything. If you click on tree view, you will get an idea which venture it's connected to, which is the project and event. This project came directly under the project. Why is that? Because we didn't connect it with task. The tree view will properly explain to you that which node it's connected to, because if you want to connect to task, you have to connect it to task, otherwise it gets connected to project. Now we just created an event. What else is left? Transaction is more like, let's take, something happened, you paid for an agreement. Okay, agreement payment. Venture, RK Groups, project, task. Direction, is it payable or receivable? It's payable. Let's say amount, let's take you spend 15,000 INR. You can choose the currency. Select, is it paid, overdraft, any of that. Let's take paid. Counterparty will show which area that you're working with. Let's take RK groups. Assets, we have not created any of them yet. Due date is when it should happen. It already happened today, so we're just gonna leave it right there. Document, here you need to understand the document that we just created came up here. Connect it. Simple. So that user can understand this transaction happened for this agreement. Period. You can leave it empty, but give it amount or something. Create a transaction. So the transaction that we just created right up here. We created the transaction. So what you need to understand, so far we have created data for almost all the pages, all the stages, all the levels, all the nodes. Now we entered all the data. We need to understand, we need to visualize it. Go to dashboard. Now you can see the meeting that we just added, 15 July 10 a.m. is today. It up here. 17 July, these are the old ones. Why it's today is that it's already like 11:30 in the midnight, so for you to get ready. And the task that we just added is right here. So we have taken 15 September, it's in 53 days, that means in 60 days, almost 2 months. The finding apartment project that we just created is right here in 49 days. This is a visualization for you to see what are the things that are upcoming. If you want to see all the records, you can just click on it and see all the records of every section. And the main thing you need to understand is a Gantt chart. It's extremely useful because when you come here, it will always show the today's date. It will always set for the today's date, 2 days earlier and 4 days after. You can choose any day here. If you choose first, it will show the next 6 days. If you choose today, it will show the next 6 days. You can say go from here to there, just 1 day differences. These are all the events, tasks, and projects. You can just say that, okay, this project is start from 14 July and just goes like that. That means if you just go in, obviously we select it for 60 days, it will be shown for 60 days continuously. These are the tasks. Let's take an event. The event that we just created is right here. If you click on it, it will show the meeting with apartment. It is right here. That means it's on a Wednesday, 15 July. If you click on it, it will take you the descriptive page and show when it will start, when it will end, the context that you need to understand, the summary, and everything, or the people that's going to be part of the meeting. And the final thing you need to understand is the admin page. This is, I have been told that you are getting a bit confused here. Admin page is where you add admins or your employees. Click on it. Imagine, let's you create a new employee just added. Let's take Nitish or something. His email, Nitish gmail.com. Here you need to understand, if you are the admin and creating another user, at first you are the one who's going to give some kind of a default password. Let's take Nate1234. Select role, let's make him admin, status active. Here you're saying all the ventures that he can have access to. These are the table he can access to. Let's give full access because he's an admin. Create user. That's it. You just created user. Nitin is right here. If you use NIT1234 password right now, you can access this workflow and do any kind of a changes. So this is creating an admin. You can edit them, delete them, anything. But this is an extremely important part that I want you guys to focus for a few more minutes here. Form builder. Every form in every section, let's take, this is a venture form. This is a people form. This is a projects form. This is a task form. All these forms, 8 forms are there, can be edited here. This is the sections where you choose which form you can edit. Let's take this ventures, right? Add new field. You can add a new field. Let's take this new venture, where venture city. Let's take city, an address. If you add this as a new field, column key is just, if you want to give the same default data. If here you choose, is it going to be number, drop down, date, any of that, it's going to be text, obviously, because it's a address. Drop down, imagine if you want to give any default options, otherwise leave it right there. Add field to ventures, you just clicked on it, it show added. Click on the save button, which has created a new text field. If you go and look at the form, you can see the address. A new text field has been added just by you right now. You just did it like that. You can always go back, close this. If you close this, you turn it off and go to dashboard and see the address text field has been removed, or most like hidden. You can delete this field too anytime. See, it's gone. You can save it. You need to understand every updation or deletion that you do here is permanent. If you in case mess up or any kind of do any kind of wrong stuff, you can click on this recent defaults and add new fields. But you need to understand every field or anything that you have added since the since the early stage of this software, everything will go back. It goes back to this default level. You need to understand that. Then the people, then the projects, tasks, documents, everything is just the same. You can add text field, close text field, any of that. And I have been told by one of the employee that that they wish they would add more data here, like more of an options. Let's take in the venture form, there is type, okay? Yeah, here, imagine there is a type that you need. You can literally just click on the add option. It's right here, came up. It says new option by default. You can say, let's take investor, vendor, and stuff like that. Let's take investor party or something. Okay, you click on it and you just save. Go to dashboard, click on it, see under the type, you can see the investor party option you just added. So if you feel like there is anything missing in type or status, you can just add that in the admin page. This is the full access that I have given for the admin level. You can go there on the ventures anytime, choose one. Let's take, you want to delete this, save. You have to save. You just cannot just delete or do some actions and go away. That changes that you do has to be saved. The final thing you need to focus on in this entire software is auditing. What is auditing in this matter is simple. Every action that you do will be stored here. You need to understand this. Every action that you do will be stored here. Even if you just edit 2 words or 2 letters, it will be stored here. Imagine I just stored here, right? Edit form setting edited. Done by who? VC admin. It's a default admin that I am using right now. Form editors, form setting done, VC admin at 11:35, 14 July. Let's take added here. You can see I have added a new venture called RK Groups at 9:52. A Mahesh person I have added at 9:55. This is auditing. And you need to understand this cannot be deleted at any cost. No one, not even admin, can delete this. This is the admin. And at the ventures level also same thing. Ventures and projects cannot be deleted. You can only archive it. If you click on it, it won't say let's delete this. It say archive it. Click on the archive. It's gone. Where it's gone? It's here in the archive records. You can see it right here. Click back. You can move that back, go back, it came back. It same goes with projects too. Archive, come back, move it back, done. But people, task, anything you can delete it. Let's take, I'll show you. If this is the task that you don't like, imagine this is a subtask. You want to delete it, done. You just deleted it. This cannot be brought back in any condition at any, it's just gone. Only ventures and projects can be archived, and the remaining can be deleted, completely deleted permanently. You cannot bring that back. Gantt chart, admin, audit, and these are the stages that you add data to, and the dashboard is where you see everything visibly and stuff that upcoming stuff that needs user attention. This is all. This workflow is entirely extremely simple. I hope you guys go through this, and mainly I will literally, like almost like hoping you that you guys go to admin page and explore this part. This is extremely important because you need to add the options, text field, anything. Even imagine, let's take field, right? We are saying name. We want to say it as something like name X or something. You can just say it anything and edit it and save it right here. You need to export this page. If you just export this page, you can just edit the form, anything in your own way, because I have designed the database in a way where an admin can add, delete, update anything in any kind of forms. This entire software was built just by these 8 forms. You add data and data becomes visible in every way. So the main thing, any changes that requires is going to be in this 8 forms. You can just edit any of them, add, delete in the admin page. So that's it. I have explained almost everything. Yeah, everything. If you have any doubt, do ask me. And yeah, this is when if you click on it, you go back to, you just logged out. I'll show you why. NIT 1234. Let's take a look at this. This is the user we just created. Click on the login. See, you just logged in. You just created a new user and you just logged in. This is it. Thank you so much for watching this, and if you have any doubts, please go back and take a look and understand it, or if there is anything that you're just not understanding, do get back to me and ask me anything. I'll just explain.